I'll suppose another one. Why do so many men project on women? Let's give you some examples here. There's a woman who's complaining that men type stuff on the internet. Well, women type stuff on the internet too. She didn't like what men type on the internet. Well, there are plenty of men who disagree with the men who you're bitching about. And there are plenty of women who disagree with you. We're not all the same. You want to project what you hate the most about a few comments that you saw on the internet and project that onto every man on the planet. Men. It's men's fault. That's projection. When men don't automatically fall to their knees and start praying to you as if you are the pussy god. When you dress like a $2 fucking hooker and go to the bar. And you want to be pissed off. Not every man is after a $2 hooker. You are dressing for success. You are dressing to be successful as a $2 hooker when you do that. By the time he's done getting drunk money and buying you drinks, he might have $2 left. He might spend it on you, he might not. At that point, you're both so sloshed that you have consensual sex because you're both drunk. You also both went to the bar dressed for success. You went to the bar dressed to succeed and having sex with somebody who's just as fucked up as you are, who's just as superficial as you are, somebody who didn't go there to hang out with her friends or his friends. It's someone who went to get laid. When you dress to get laid, there's a difference between you just want to look pretty and then you go out in public. That's not just wanting to be pretty. That's wanting attention. You do it for yourself. That's what you say. You say, I do it for myself. I don't do it for anyone else. That's right. You do it for the attention that you get from other people. Otherwise, it would not be a public activity. When you try to present an opportunity of sex, like, let's take Baywatch for example. Was that show really about saving lives, or was it David Hasselhoff wanting to stare at bouncing boobies and make a television show about bouncing? It was primarily about Pamela Anderson and totally ripped men. I mean, we're talking about the hot bodies of the model world on Baywatch. Now, that was years ago. That was many years ago, but TV hasn't changed. When you want to be angry because other women are going out of their way to try to have plastic surgery to look like Pamela Anderson, well, just so you know, most of those surgeries are not going to be successful. And most men are not really into that. That is too high maintenance. If she's not comfortable enough in her own body, if she is so uncomfortable in it that she has to try to make herself look like a Barbie doll, that is scary to men, and that is a sign to us of severe mental problems. Severe mental problems. It's one thing to get a chest reduction because it's too heavy and giving you back problems. It's another thing entirely to give yourself size Fs. But it's just for you. And you're insulted when people look at them. You have literally made something huge. When people look at my nose, I'm not going to get offended. I know they're going to look at my nose. I know it's fucking huge. There seem to be a lot of people who want to tell men like we're stupid. Hey, Sean, you know you're bald, right? Yes, I do. Hey, Sean, you know you have a big nose, right? Yes, I do. But I can't say, you know, you have some massive boobs. It's rude. Now, there's a woman who wanted to get on and complain about how there's superficial men in the world. That's right, and you project onto us that we're all superficial. Meanwhile, you're being superficial. Why are you only paying attention to those men? It's a good question. And why are we worried about you fucking dating in a world where there's rapes and murders and child molesters and human fucking trafficking and people starving to death and being beaten to death and the way that homeless people are treated nationwide? I don't give a fuck about your stupid bullshit. I may not look pretty, but my clothes are comfortable. I hurt too much to be going around wearing a bunch of heavy crap that's uncomfortable as hell. The difference between men isn't that our motivations are any different. It's that we're taught differently how to express that. Women are taught to project it specifically onto men. Men are taught to specifically project it onto women when it comes to gender wars. Whites are specifically taught to blame blacks. Blacks are specifically taught to blame whites if you're in a segregated area. That don't make it right. And saying that's just the way they were raised don't make it right either. We have taught women in this country that men are not human beings. Only women are human beings. Only women can have emotions. We have taught bias and sexism. We also get to see how that bias and sexism is killing our boys at a much higher rate than the girls. How the girls are more likely to get help. Matter of fact, there's so much help out there for females that if they don't get what they want, they can just pretend a man victimized them. And they'll get whatever the fuck they want. Unless, of course, you're stuck out here on the streets. Women out here get treated like hell. And many of them, just as they were users and abusers when they lived with men, out here on the streets, they feel that we owe them still. Many of the women that I knew who said that they don't need a man, it's because a man beat them up. But they still abuse men daily, take advantage of us and our kindness, because bias expects us to give, and if we don't, we're not real men. We're not real men. Let's take a look at all the evil comments that women type about men. When I type about women, I'm just giving equality. In reality, it is individuals that count and individuals that matter. This is why political parties need to be abolished. We should be making decisions based on what is right and what is wrong, instead of trusting that the party that we choose is telling the truth and going to make decisions for us in our best interest. Republicans think only Republicans will do that. Democrats think only Democrats will do that. Liberals think only liberals will do that. And meanwhile, we're all human beings. How about you cross the line? How about you You cross the line to the other side. Why don't you try looking at the perspective of a man the way that we are told to look at your perspective? Meanwhile, you will tell us our perspective and it's completely wrong. You will tell me what I am thinking because I have a penis and be completely wrong. But not only that, you will project onto me and have your friends project onto me those things. And you don't find those behaviors psycho when you didn't get exactly what you wanted right when you wanted it. If a man doesn't want to date you, you shame him and blame him and tell him he's got a tiny penis. You're probably gay. I bet you suck dick. You have a tiny penis. I bet you have a tiny penis. Jesus fuck. Just because you didn't get what you fucking wanted, you're gonna run around telling everybody he's got a tiny penis, probably touches little boys. You bet he's a woman beater, and you just keep saying that to everybody you see until people start going, you know, I heard he hits women. I heard he hits women. I heard he hits women. But then you don't find no women that he hit. So now you gotta pretend like he hit you if you want people to believe it. I mean, really, you're spending an awful lot of your life investing in destroying innocent men's lives because you didn't get what you wanted. There is only one Jason Momoa. Only one Momo. One Momo. Uno momento. One. You're trying to save yourself for Jason Momoa or Channing Tatum. No, not everybody is going to get to date Channing Tatum. You like what I did there? Not every woman gets a chance with Jason Momoa. No matter how much you feel you deserve it or it is owed to you. And this is where we get psychos. Don't get me wrong, there are psycho men too. But we have taught women that they can get away with it and how to. By using bias. Where a woman and her friends can stalk a man because she didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it. And when they drive him to absolute fucking ending it. So that he is at the end of his fucking ropes. Then it's his fault. It's his fault. He asks you to knock it off, and it's his fault. Now he's stalking you because he's asking you to knock it off. He's asking you to call off the dogs. He already fucking gave up when he drove 1,700 miles away from your druggy ass in Virginia. 1,700 miles to get the fuck away from you. Is that not sign enough? Natalie and Alicia both had different ideas. And in the end, neither one of them got what they wanted. Why is it that with all the pissed off shit that I say about junkies, that I still come out here? Well, I'm stuck here, first of all. Second of all, those junkies are going to come knocking on my window anyway. If I'm friendly to somebody out on the streets, they're glad somebody's friendly, and when that friendly somebody is sober, even much more the better. But only once you've established a working friendship. Now, what's a working friendship? This is basically the beginnings of a friendship. You're going to find out if that person's down for you, and also find out if you're down for them. You might have conflicting political ideologies, and in that case, that might be a valid excuse in your mind for you just to take advantage of them. Well, you know, he's a pretty nice guy. He's kind of in the same situation as I am. We could probably work together. We're both disabled, so at least we can understand each other on that level. But goddamn, he voted for Donald Trump. And he just went and got his disability money. He's a cash and carry kind of guy. Well, he likes Donald Trump. Fuck him, he's a racist. I'll just take his shit. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm getting at here, but when I make the women videos, it's not about women. It's about sexism. It's about taught sexism and taught bias. If a woman wants to walk closer to the road because in her opinion, if she's walking by an alley or a doorway, it's easier to grab her and yank her into the house than it is to yank somebody into a vehicle. Well, that's a very valid point, depending on how close the house is to the street, how wide the sidewalk is, and where it's at. There's a place I lived in Longmont, Colorado, where literally when you opened your door, if somebody was riding by on their bike, on the cross or on the sidewalk, they were going to run into your house door. House doors are supposed to turn in. By the way, yes, they did eventually change that. And no, it wasn't my place. But they did switch the door so that it swung in like it was supposed to, because obviously you can't be having that door opening into people riding on a bike. That'd get somebody killed. Potentially the person on a bike, potentially the person opening the door, possibly both. That's a lot of momentum and it's a lot of weight, and when it smacks into a door, yeah, it can definitely break your neck if it hits you the wrong way while you're trying to open the door and get out. And especially if you want to peer around your door first, just in case there's a bike coming, because you know it opens the wrong way, and you stick your head out like that, you might get your head cracked. You might have the door shut right on your neck and kill you. It's not intelligent, right? Now, because the door opens out, obviously it's not going to be as easy to open it up and grab somebody necessarily, is it? If it opens in, though, then it's easier. And if it's right on the street like that one was, and still is, but now it's got a door that opens in like it's supposed to, yeah, it's a lot easier to yank somebody into your house off the sidewalk than it is into your car. But your house is in one place. Your house isn't moving. If somebody sees you get grabbed and taken into somebody's house, they saw you get grabbed and taken into the house isn't going anywhere. It's not going to drive off. Different things to think about for different situations. Your assumptions are based on situations that you've had, but you don't try to understand the reality of other people's situations. I had everything taken from me because I told on my predators. I told on Natalie Bollinger. I told on Alicia Bollinger. I told on Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger. There's a lot of women in my life who have played victim with men, but then later on they go back to that man. Now here's the question. Did he really beat on you the first 3 times? Like you said, when you wanted a rescue? Or was it really that you just kind of blew it out of proportion because you were scared, like all 4 times that you went back? That's right. Sometimes women will come over to your house and tell you that they already broke up with their boyfriend or their husband. And then their husband is over knocking on the door going, "Schwartz, is my wife here?" She said you guys broke up. But am I supposed to say that to him? No, I'm supposed to be the careful friend that keeps you safe. I don't tell her that, or I don't tell him that. She hides in the kitchen and listens to the conversation. Okay, so you told me that you broke up with him, but it was that you were just gonna break up with him? Why did you come over to my house for that? Oh yeah, because I'm the only friend you're allowed to have because your husband won't let you have friends. But then again, you have a lot of female friends. Most of them can't stand you anymore because all you do is come over and create drama and start drama. When somebody comes over to my house and tells me that they're afraid because their husband's beating on them or he's screaming at them and throwing shit at them, you know what? That's scary for me. It's just as scary as when Harley Richmond is doing it to Dallas, especially when some of that stuff bounces off and lands close to me. But I get sick of hearing men, 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 men. And when I get sick of that enough, I'll say women, 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 women. I also make sure that I explain that's not really the way that I think. I do this so that you understand how it feels. How is it different? How is it okay for you to do things like that to me? But somehow I'm evil if I do it back. No, this is why men don't want to date. The sad thing is, there's a lot of men that do want to date, so that's not a true statement. It'd be nice if no men wanted to date. If no man was willing to date you or get married to you. That would be real nice. Because if they're not willing to date you, they're not willing to have sex with you, they're not willing to marry you, and they expect the same out of you as they expect out of a man, well, we wouldn't have very many women left in America. Most of them would kill themselves. God bless America.